They say this place was always meant to be a dream. Before the freeways carved their paths like veins across the valley, before the movie stars smiled beneath palm trees, before the city lit up the desert like fireflies at dusk, this land was quiet and sacred once, long before the name Los Angeles was ever spoken. This was the home of the Tongva people. For thousands of years, they lived by the ocean and the rivers, where sycamore trees whispered over still waters and the breeze carried stories older than memory. They called this place Yonga. It wasn't just a settlement, it was a heartbeat, a center of life. And then came the flags. First the Spanish, who named it El Pueblo de Nuestra Segura la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciuncula. A mouthful, yes, but even then, they knew this place was something different. A land so golden, so wide and alive, it needed a name as long as its promise. With missions and pueblos came the first tremors of change, a shift in the soil. Mexico took hold next, and then, after war and treaties, America came. The stars and stripes replaced old banners, but the real change, the soul of Los Angeles, was just beginning to take shape. It began with dust and railroads, with orange groves and ranchos stretching endlessly under the sun. People came with nothing but their hands and hope. Chinese railroad workers, Mexican laborers, African-American families escaping Jim Crow, Eastern Europeans chasing refuge, Japanese farmers tilling tough soil. They planted more than crops, they planted futures. And in the space between cultures, Los Angeles became not one story, but many woven together like strands of a vast and trembling tapestry. Then, one invention changed everything: the camera. The early 20th century brought light to the hills' Hollywoodland, and with it, the illusion industry was born. Silent films flickered across silver screens. Stars were born in the glare of studio lights. People who had never been seen were suddenly icons. Los Angeles became a factory of dreams, exporting fantasy to the world. But it wasn't just glamour. Beneath the movie sets and red carpets, a deeper city took root, one built by sweat and steel. Oil rigs rose like metal trees. Aerospace factories buzzed with Cold War ambition. The freeways came twisting concrete rivers that promised speed but demanded sacrifice. Whole neighborhoods were carved apart to make way for the future. Black communities like Sugar Hill and Chavez Ravine were displaced, their histories paved over. And still, the city grew. By the mid-20th century, Los Angeles was more than a city. It was a symbol, a promise, a contradiction. It was where surfers chased perfect waves while activists marched in. The streets, where jazz echoed down Central Avenue, and punk was born in dingy clubs, where artists painted on walls when galleries turned them away, where Watts burned in 1965, and then again in 1992. Fire, ash, and fury. The city's voice, crying out against injustice that was never fully buried. But Los Angeles doesn't die. It transforms. In every era, it has found a way to rewrite itself. The city learned to grieve and build, to break and reassemble. After the riots came healing. After earthquakes came strength. After division came unity, fragile, imperfect, but real. The Latino heartbeat grew stronger. Immigrant voices rose in every language from Korean to Tagalog, Farsi to Spanish. The second largest city in America became the first city of the world. Here, you can walk down a street and taste 10 different homelands. You can hear prayers from 5 different faiths on the same block. Los Angeles taught us what it means to collide and coexist. It is the sound of mariachi blending with trap beats, the sight of murals honoring heroes whose names history once tried to erase. It is 1,000 communities making space for one another in a city that was never supposed to be easy. And still, it dreams. Through smog and sunsets, wildfires and rebirths, Los Angeles never stops dreaming. It's in the ambition of a screenwriter scribbling in a cafe, the food truck owner saving for their first restaurant, the undocumented student walking across a graduation stage, the grandmother selling tamales on the corner to feed 3 generations. This city is not just for the rich and famous. It never was. It's for the strivers, the believers, the broken and the brave. And maybe that's the secret of Los Angeles. That beneath all its contradictions, beneath the palm trees and poverty, the traffic and triumphs, it's not about perfection. It's about persistence, the ability to keep going, to keep hoping, to fall down and rebuild again and again. Because for all its sun, Los Angeles is a city of shadows, too. It remembers the lives lost to violence, to inequality, to neglect. It carries them, and it tries, however slowly, to be better. So when you look at Los Angeles, look past the billboards. Listen closely. You'll hear it. The pulse of generations who came here with nothing. The whisper of old rivers and new voices. The rhythm of resilience. Los Angeles is not just a place. It's a feeling. It's a struggle. It's a second chance. And that is what makes it beautiful.